Pandemic was a bad thing for a lot of people, but I would imagine for the cigar industry, it kind of worked the other way because people had a lot of time to sit down and smoke and drink.
Well, I think it's depending on what side of the fence you're on, right?
True.
As a lounge owner, I'm sure that there was a lot of fear for, especially when it first kicked off, right?
Right.
And people aren't able to make it into lounges. We've got restrictions on travel even within your own city. So we did that episode with EB and
Larry,
Unc, and
yep.
yeah. So, but I know for a lot of manufacturers, it was booming, and a lot of folks were buying sticks, online and figuring out a way to kind of deal with the stresses of the world.
Did it ever get to a point where Kristoff was like, "Hey, are we actually going to be able to fulfill all these orders?"
It's been its wave, There's times that everybody's booming, right? So we had 6 months off at the factory. Just through COVID regulation out there in DR, and they shut them down for 6 months, and then they came back to I think 40%. So that took a hit. So we had to bounce back from that, and then just the demand it's been going really good, So just trying to stay busy. I think right now they're at about 70%, 75%, but any given time, some of the rollers don't make it, or somebody from the box factory doesn't make it just because they get sick, and they got to quarantine and all that. So that's been the hassle.
Has it kind of tailored off a little bit?
Somewhat, but then we get another set of big orders, and just try to catch up again. So, but it's been well. We've been staying pretty good.
Welcome back to another great episode of the TheVisionLab podcast in partnership with Maximum Creative. I'm your host, Ryan Cuffey, alongside my co-host, Mr. Ryan Mosley. The TheVisionLab is the official growth mindset podcast for all visionaries worldwide, showing mad love to the cigar community. Folks, it's here in the lab where we uncover people's visions and dreams and how those dreams actually come into reality. It's all about tapping into and becoming the best versions of ourselves through self-discovery, self-examination, and self-actualization. Yo, we took the lab on the road. I'm super excited. Who we got on the show today?
Cuff, today's guest is a native of Arlington, Texas, your hometown.
Out of town. That's right.
Right. He is he's a account executive for Kristoff Cigars. He is fastly becoming one of our favorite people.
Yes, sir.
Please welcome Guillermo Alvarez to the TheVisionLab podcast.
Thanks for having me. Welcome to my garage.
Oh, I love it. It's beautiful.
It's the quarantine edition.
Yeah. Hey, come on now. We
we
took
do
the
it.
show on the road and you opened up your home. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. The crazy thing is, you're only 8 minutes, 9 minutes.
Yeah, man.
From my house, and so
certainly honored. Hang out.
Yeah, for sure.
Man,
certainly
come
honored
through.
to not only you opening up your home to us, but hanging out and smoking a stick. Speaking of sticks, this is amazing. I want to go ahead and tell me what I'm smoking here. Tell all of our visionaries what we got going on.
So that's the Pissed Off Kristoff.
Oh.
It's Mexican San Andreas natural. Has some Nicaraguan Dominican in there as well.
What do I have?
That's the shade grown. So that's one of our newest ones. It's a Honduran in Connecticut. So it's going to be in between medium to mild. So it's a little above the mild to medium, closer to a medium body, but it's really good flavors. So I hope both y'all are enjoying it.
Absolutely. And I had this one last year at our golf tournament, which, by the way, is coming up June 19th. So all visionaries that are in the DFW Metroplex, or you want to make your way out here to the DFW Metroplex, hit us up. We got the annual TheVisionLab Golf Classic, June 19th.
At the Urban Golf Club. Get your teams ready.
Yep. So, dope stick. I think you guys produce a phenomenal stick. What do you got going tonight?
I got the Cameroon. So this is a 12-year-old aged Cameroon from Africa. We bring it back to the DR, process it a little more. So it's to me, it's one of the best, if not the best Cameroon on the market right now. So I'll let y'all try it soon.
Yeah, for sure.
How did you get started with cigars, Guillermo? Who introduced you to your first stick?
Man, I was 14 years old, went to Mexico City, And my cousin, he used to have a little brick and mortar store. In Mexico, they do, Cubans are illegal out there, so the majority of the cigars out there are Cubans. And, we kind of used to play around, in the scene with Black and Miles and stuff like that. So when I went up there, he's like, "Do you smoke?" And I was like, "Well, nobody knows, right? But, I've had a Black and Mild here and there." He's like, "No, I'm going to show you, what a real cigar is, Okay. So we were at his house, and I'll never forget, he had that nice humidor glass top table for like his coffee table at home. And out there they have, rooftop patios on their houses and stuff. So we went up there and had a cigar. And, I don't really remember the flavors, but I'll never forget the memory, of just being in that. So it always kind of lingered. Didn't really smoke much after that. And then every now and then, celebration cigar here and there, whatever it was, special occasions. And then one day I had already moved out from home. I was living downtown Dallas, stayed at the Mosaic, if y'all are familiar with that building.
Absolutely.
So what intrigued me there is that they had a poker room, cigar lounge, and also in my apartment on the 21st floor, where my unit was, we had these glass doors that opened up in the sunroom. So I used to get off of work and just go up there and just hang out, and that's how I really started to get more and more into cigars. I was always looking forward to get off of work, just go over there, light up a cigar, and read about it at the time, and YouTube and all that. So that's what really intrigued me. Yeah. So from that hobby, wanted to dive into it more, and I started working for Up and Smoke. They had a now hiring sign one day, and it took a couple months to get a call back. But I started working at the Up and Smoke right here in Mac Park. So I started there and kind of transitioned to help around all the stores. And this is part-time. I still have a full-time job. And my full-time was collision repair. So I came from the automotive collision repair and all that. So I had my full-time job, and then I started working Up and Smoke in Uptown. Worked there for a little over a year, and just left that, spent some more time with the kid. And then Casa Mar Kristoff was opening up, so I helped them open that store. Worked there for another year, and then kind of right place at the right time. Met this gentleman named Alejandro Torrent. You're familiar with Casa Torrent Cigars. I used to work with him, and worked with him until Kristoff was looking for a new rep, and the rest is history, man. It's been 3 years in the making. It's been a blessing. During the Torrent time, I left my full-time job and made the cigar industry full-time, and just been rocking it since, man. No, not at all.
What is it about the account executive role, or working within the cigar industry, in general, that you love the most?
The brotherhood, companionship, just meeting people, learning about everybody's life, because we all come from different walks of life. This just brings us together,
Common denominator.
Absolutely. So that's the beauty of it to me.
I love that you say that, because I think a lot of times when we talk to people, it always comes back to the love of the leaf, and shout out to Dallas Leaf LLC who really made that phrase for us
Absolutely
more poignant, right? And so no matter, like you said, no matter what walk of life you're coming from, what industry you work in, doesn't matter your socioeconomic status or anything, race. We can all sit down at a lounge or sit together with friends and just kick back, burn one, and just talk about life, man. And I think that's one of the things for both of us, right? That draws us back to continue to do what we do.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the good folks at Dallas Leaf. Allow me to take care of other people who take care of us, Cuff. Edwina Brown, Jacoby, the entire staff at Blowing Smoke Cigar Lounge. Congratulations on you guys' new location. We will be there soon. Visionaries, if you've not had a chance to get to it, you can find all the information on them on Instagram. It's at Blowing Smoke. It's blown with an I-N, forget the G. Crystal and Tim at Class A Vodka. Class in every glass is the slogan. Visionaries, we stand on it for a reason. It is a great product. We promise you will stop drinking whatever vodka you're drinking after you taste their vodka. And obviously the good folks at Dallas Leaf, the entire army of Dallas Leaf, whether it's cigars, philanthropic events, entertainment, whatever it is you need, give it to folks at Dallas Leaf LLC. Their website is dallasleafllc.com.
So you now transition to this AE role for Kristoff over the last 3 years. What does that role actually entail?
So I'm a sales rep. So I go to accounts, just check on product, see how we're doing, and then just try to keep fulfilling orders and just try to keep stock on the shelf. But that also just gets talking to staff, talking to the clients there, setting up events, stuff like that. I cover 5 states, so it's Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri. Unfortunately, right now with COVID, I haven't traveled since last March, so it's been a year now.
Your wife getting tired of you being at home?
Yeah, even the kids, man. So this is my sanctuary right now,
Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean that's day to day. I mean we get a lot of windshield time, a couple flights here and there, do different events and stuff. But it's just about spreading the love of Kristoff and letting people try and enjoy it.
When you're actually on the road, all these different states that you kind of got your hands in, what's the biggest? I should say biggest. What's the most important aspect of your job aside from obviously the actual product? What's the biggest thing that you have to make sure you do to every lounge you walk in?
Just putting yourself out there, and making sure your product is right. You can walk in a humidor and not saying that somebody didn't pay attention to it, but people kind of go in there, grab product, put it here and there. You want to walk in a humidor and see the product presentable, right? So just kind of makes you have a better look, and people will gravitate to that. So just make sure that the product is nice. And then whoever's there, tell them a little bit about it, because it could be somebody that just got into cigars and they have no idea. And if you just mingle with them, kind of get their attention, let them try something new and just gravitate if they like it.
One of the things I like that you said is that you got to put yourself out there. So obviously, we deal with a lot of growth mindset talk. What are some of the lessons that you learned in terms of personal development, maybe where you had to kind of come out of your shell? Because you came from the auto repair industry, and now you're working in cigars. Like, were there any skill sets that you had to develop? Any challenges that you had to overcome? Like, what was your mindset? What was your mindset when you got involved into the cigar industry?
I mean, the main thing was actually coming up with people skills. Being in a shop all day, you're just working on cars.
So you don't talk to anybody.
You don't talk to anybody but your guys, right? And it's shop talk, so you talk about different things, whatever it is. But actually talking to somebody one-on-one, explaining the product, trying to be professional, it was something that I guess I had, but I didn't even know I had it, because the only time I talked to customers was, hey, we're gonna have to do some more work on your car, or your car's ready to go, But yeah, it just completely changed, and I think that was one thing that I really loved, because I would thrive, just looking forward to it all the time, and just being in a shop, everybody that walks in, you kind of get to talk to them, and that's what I really liked,
So allow me to switch gears, Cuff, and let's dig into the actual brand Kristoff.
Yeah, let's do it.
Where are you guys based out of? Like, where's home base of Kristoff?
Chicago.
Gosh, how many times a year you got to get to Chicago to go to home base?
A couple times to do some
Pre-COVID.
meetings and stuff, yeah.
Okay, exactly, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So, if I was to introduce somebody who's brand new to, not even necessarily cigars, who's brand new to the Kristoff brand, what is the impression that the Kristoff brand wants to leave on that brand new prospect?
Quality, consistency, and availability. That's our motto. We have that on the factory walls, and that's what we go by.
And how many different faces do you guys have?
16 at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we cover anything from mild to medium. We have a mild, but it's a flavorful mild. So there's some cigars that are real mild, that kind of taste bland. Our Ecuadorian Connecticut's our modest cigar, but it has lots of flavor. So it's medium and full flavor. Like, you're gonna get everything, but it's a really mild cigar. On the strength wise. So you'll get tons of good flavor. And the next one up would be the shade grown that you're smoking there. So not super mild, but you get that full flavor in your in your palate.
So you got 16 different faces, product that's coming from different regions, right? How long did it kind of take you to get up to speed with learning, different regions, the binder, the filler, the wrap, all of that? Like, How long did that take you to kind of learn that process?
I mean, it takes a few weeks. You know, we have a catalog, and you know, before I even hit the road, you know, it's like, hey, study this, and you know, yeah, you're in the lab, you know. So, I wouldn't say that my first time on the road I knew everything, but you start kind of getting to know it a little easier, you know. Yeah. It's just memorization, right? But yeah, it's every cigar has its own story, you know, its own blend. So, you know, getting to learn that takes a little while, but it's worth it.
When it comes to you as an individual rep and the brand, what's the impression that you try to leave personally on every shop/lounge owner that you encounter? Because you know we've talked to other reps on the show before, right? And obviously, when it comes to cigars, the product has to be right no matter who you are, right? But I remember when we talked to Tracy out of Mike's in Hughes Bedford, and he said the one thing that he looks for in a rep is, you know, one, you know, your attitude, right?
Yep.
But just a certain level of like how you carry yourself in the lounge. And he always said that, you know, when a rep leaves, you know, I want to make sure they ask for something, so they have a reason to come back to me, right? Yep. So I spin all that to say, when it comes to you and the different lounge owners you encounter in all 5 of those states, what's the one thing you try to leave them with as far as an impression when it comes to hey, Guillermo's going to be here on Tuesday. What's the one thing you want them to know when you come in?
Just being professional and outgoing, you know. We can hold a conversation, business or personal, you know, whatever it is, and you know, not leave a bad taste in their mouth, you know.
So you've been with Kristoff for the last 3 years or so. What's one thing that you know of that people should know about Kristoff and its cigars or its brand that they may not already know?
The main thing is quality. Maybe about 10 years ago, maybe a little longer, there was a change of factories that we did. We had a little different quality control process that turned into a quality control problem. And a lot of the older smokers actually kind of got off of Kristoff for a little while. Since then, things have changed. You know, our quality control's on point, and I think that's the biggest thing. You know, and that's for the older smokers. Newer smokers is, you know, we're right in between. Some people consider us boutique. Some people consider us, you know, kind of main market. You know, we're not up there. I wouldn't think numbers wise like Fuente or Drew Estate, you know, because they have all those umbrellas. We're still a mom and pop business. We have the owner, 2 people in the office, our VP of sales, and then just 7 sales reps.
Really?
So we're a mom and pop business, but we're pushing numbers out there and trying to get out there.
Thought that.
Yeah,
I never would have thought
that.
that. No, I thought it was a lot larger, you know, of an organization.
Yeah,
no, you guys are knocking it out the park.
Man, our operations team in Chicago are on point. VP of sales, you know, give him a call and he'll help out with whatever issues we have, questions and brainstorming ideas and stuff. So it's, like I said, it's a blessing, man. We've been blessed to have a solid team and just keep bringing out some quality stuff.
Now let me get into Guillermo's brain.
Uh-oh.
So you went from working in an auto body shop, auto collision repair, started off smoking cigars as just kind of a hobby, got addicted to it in regards to, like, I really enjoy doing this. We have a lot of listeners who want to make that transition to whatever it is they're doing, 9 to 5 wise, or we know whatever their current career path is. But they got something inside us. I eventually want to do this. What would be your advice to that person who's listening to or watching this episode?
Do your research. You know, for me, it turned from a hobby. It turned from, you know, occasion to a hobby, and from a hobby to a passion. And it turned into a lifestyle after that, you know. So, and I think we all live that. But yeah, just do your research, get to know, smoke everything, and then get a job at a brick and mortar if you can. Because most of the reps that are out there, most of the guys that work for these cigar companies, they come from a retail side, you know, a cigar shop. And I think that's what helped me out the most, coming from the people skills, learning more about cigars, because we think we know this stuff, and it's always more and more to it, right? If you sent me right now to DR to blend you a cigar, you know, it's probably the hardest thing in the world, you know. And after that, it'd be rolling it. So it's a challenge, but just doing research, getting in the right place at the right time, and just keep pushing that passion, you know.
When did it turn into a passion for you?
Like at a certain moment, you had to be like, okay, I'm doing this.
I'm in.
I mean, it had to be within the first couple of weeks of working in the cigar shop, because, like I said, you know, going in from that hobby, and it's like, man, I've been doing my research, this and that, and then you go into there and it's the next level, right? So it's like you have all of these cigars now, you know, versus you go in a cigar shop now and you buy 3 or 4 sticks here. It's an expensive hobby at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm not buying 3 or 4.
No, and you know, people going in there buying boxes and stuff, you know, it's the next level. But just seeing all the cigars and all the blends and all the different countries and stuff, and it's like, I've seen it online, but I haven't even smoked it, you know. So just kind of get into that and just seeing the difference of each process, each leaf, what goes, you know, what goes more with your palate. Because at the end of the day, to me, there's no bad cigar. There's just a cigar that doesn't go with your palate, right? Because he might love it, it might not go with mine, and you might think it's all right, you know. But vice versa. So I think that's the main thing there.
Well, you know, I asked that question about passion because, you know, now that you're in the field and you're a staple in the DFW Metroplex and the other states that you serve, I'm curious. You've heard the saying before. You know, if you find your passion, you'll never work a day in your life. Do you kind of feel like that's where you are right now?
Absolutely.
And what is that like? You know, to just be in that state where, you know what, yeah, I got to work, but this isn't work.
I mean, it's a blessing, man. Honestly, you know, there's always like dream jobs that you could keep dreaming and dreaming and dreaming, and this was one of them. You know, when I got into working in the cigar shop, you know, I was making less than half of the money from my automotive side at a retail shop, but I was looking forward to just being there for those 4 hours, you know, after work, after busting my ass all day, and just, you know, coming in to work at a cigar shop for a few hours. You know, it was just like, I didn't care what I was getting paid. It was just, you know, awesome to be there. And then it transitioned into, you know, I want to be a sales rep and do this, what these guys are doing and stuff like that. And it's been awesome.
It's crazy how the leaf grabs you, right? Like, I remember, I guess it was 2 years ago, when it really started going from like, maybe 3 years ago, where it started going from smoking a cigar maybe once a quarter or every blue moon or whatever that was, to once a month, to once a week. And then I found the cigar scanner app, where you start to, because I started to say, okay, where's this from? What region? What type of leaf is it? You know, what's on the ingredients? What type of notes should I be getting? Is this nutty? Is it, you know, a little bit more heavy? Is it a robusto? Is it, you know, a lancero? Like, all these different things start to come, and you start to geek out on it, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And it's crazy, and I know exactly, even though I've never, you know, been a rep for a brand, but I know exactly where you are, or, you know, back then, as it relates to, you know, it's now a passion. So I get a lot of energy when I hear, you know, people that are doing what they love to do and not feeling like they're working. I think it's absolutely amazing.
It's great.
What was the hardest part about making that transition? Because obviously the auto body world is completely different than working in a cigar shop, and at this point you being on the road, making sure people have their product. What was the hardest transition?
Leaving for trips, you know, as much as I love it, you know, it's like I got the kids at home, you know, but when you think about you're doing this for your foundation or your family, you know, it's a little easier, but that's probably the biggest thing, you know, being away from the family for a little while. But you know, we're blessed to come back home every weekend and you know, hug the kids and hug the wife and, you know, live as a family and get back to the grind again, you know. But like you said, it doesn't feel like work, you know, so it makes it a little easier.
Now, out of all 16 faces, what's your go-to? And I'm purposeful in saying that because I don't want to say your favorite. I know that's like a cheesy way to ask it, but like, what's your go-to?
So I usually start my day with our Ecuadorian Connecticut Corona. I've never been super big on like Connecticut cigars, but the Corona size, it's awesome. You know, start your day 45 minutes to an hour. You know, nice, easy. Because I got a few go-tos, right? The Sumatra, kind of midday.
Always.
You know, any day, any time of the day, the cigar is awesome. The Cameroon and our Vengeance is awesome, really good too. So they're all. I mean, it's it's kind of hard. It's almost like picking your child, right? So get a little time for everybody.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now, as it relates to pairings, for those that are tuning in, you know, and I'm not going to ask you to go through all 16 different faces, right? But like, what are some good pairings that your sticks go with?
I love coffee, so coffee definitely goes with a lot of them. It depends, man. I mean, if you like something sweeter, like some cognac or something, the Sumatra right down the middle pairs perfectly with it. If you like beer, our original Maduro, most of the time you could pair it with the blonde or even a stout. You know,
Nice.
Transitions really well. And if you like whiskeys, I like some a little darker, like a Vengeance or even a Kristoff. You know, just kind of
probably pissed off.
yeah, it goes really well. But hey, man, coffee, sparkling water, like Topo Chico or something, it's always on point.
All right, so we would be remiss, right, if we did not, since we're talking about pairings, if we didn't offer you the Class A. Of course, we got it here on set.
Thank you again to Crystal and Tim. All you guys' support, we appreciate it
Absolutely.
so
And,
Hey, y'all had this at the golf tournament last year,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, they were awesome, man.
Yeah, it's a fantastic product. Remember, class in every glass. So this will be for you, Guillermo. Mo, you're already good.
much. Yes, I am.
Now I will tell you this: it'll sneak up on you. So we're gonna keep it nice and easy as we record, man.
Hey man, I'm not driving, so
That's
Yeah,
right.
we're good.
Cheers.
Salute.
Cheers.
Salute.
Thank you guys.
Mhm. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. You know, if you're what's the word?
Sensitive?
If you're sensitive, hit the mute button right quick. What is the Gringo story?
The Gringo. So Glenn Case, he's our founder, owner of Kristoff Cigars. He was in the banking industry for, I believe it was about 20 years. He was one of the VP executives at the time, working for one of the biggest banks at that time. Not sure which one it was. And he was just tired of the corporate life, all the back and forth, and all that. So his wife Terry, she was a cigar broker, helping her dad out during the cigar boom and all that. So they were needing help, and I guess Glenn was just fed up, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna come out, retire from here and help you all out with the cigars, and just started to get into it. He was kind of that hobby cigar guy as well, which turned passion then, and just started working in the cigar industry as a broker. He did that for about 6 months, helping out this one brand, because he had multiple brands with him. Oliva, Rocky Patel at the time was taking off, and one of the brands called him up, and they're like, hey, you've been putting us in all these stores, we're making good money now we could afford somebody in-house, you're fired. So he was like, yo, I just left my career job for this.
Wow.
And they just gave me the boot like that, right?
Wow.
So he kind of took it to heart and decided, you know what, I'm just going to have my own cigar brand. So we started off as exclusive cigars before the Kristoff name came. So he went out to the DR.
So the name of the cigar was exclusive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exclusive Cigars. That was the brand name. And he went out to the DR, and he was trying to buy a factory. Kind of went different places and stuff. And this guy Rolando that he met up there, he's like, hey, what are you doing? Let me help you out. Let me try to make some cigars for you. He's like, no. I want to do my own thing. Well, Rolando ended up staying in touch with him, sent him some cigars that he had blended for him. And he liked it. He went with his palate and everything. So he kind of got intrigued by that. And just kind of started working with Rolando. At the time, they came out with a cigar called the Vengeance, because that was the vengeance, towards the cigar industry. So whenever he started kind of hitting the road, that's when he's like, I'm just another gringo in the cigar industry trying to sell a cigar, So that was a big challenge for him, right? Because we don't have that family legacy. My grandfather started growing tobacco in Cuba and kind of moved out after that. So it was just kind of pushing good product and trying to get people to smoke it, and it's been 15 years from then.
Really? So this is young. This is a baby, effectively, right? Like
somewhat,
2005, 2004ish.
Yeah, I think 2004.
From where you sit in the room, right, as far as Kristoff is concerned, where do you see it going?
And I think obviously COVID has COVID's been somewhat good for the cigar industry. People were smoking at home and stuff, but it's kind of made a pause in our projects that we had coming up. But I think we're next. I think we're gonna kind of get to that next level, kind of get our name out there a little more, and just be one of the definitely go-to cigars in your rotation.
What you've been in the industry for the last couple of years. What have you seen outside of the pandemic, right? What have you seen in terms of the way it feels like? For me, there's way more cigar smokers than there were 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, do you kind of feel that explosion of lounges and more consumers?
Absolutely. I mean, just coming in from the brick and mortar side, working in a store, I was getting a lot of people coming in, younger, older. Hey, I used to smoke cigarettes 30 years ago. I used to smoke cigarettes for 30 years. I gave it up. Didn't want to be around any kind of smoke. But now I kind of get the urge of, trying cigars out, because I don't believe I'll get addicted and go back to cigarettes and stuff. So, they start smoking cigars, trying that out, and then they see it's totally different from a cigarette, because you can't really chain smoke cigars. If you chain smoke cigars, you're gonna feel it, So yeah, so that, and then younger guys, ever since since I've been working in the cigar industry now, the legality age changed, but I was seeing a lot of younger kids, 18 years old or whatever, and but just kind of spread that word, smoke everything, try it out, but yeah, that's. You have a good point there. It's been booming all over. So.
And with the boom, and we've talked about, the pandemic. Obviously, that's kind of still here. As an AE for a brand, what are your thoughts and feelings on purchasing online?
Good question.
So, since we're a small business ourselves, if you support a cigar shop that has an online store, more power to you, right? I feed my family through small business, so I kind of gravitate to that, right? There's a lot of big companies, that also support us, but they do crazy samplers and stuff like that, so sometimes it's inevitable, right? You're trying to get into it, they get some good deals or whatever, But I think supporting small business, is going to be the way to go in my eyes, just because, it helps me out as well. And, many stores have their online store, and I think that would be the best way to go,
It's the heartbeat of America. And I know that used to be, Chevrolet's slogan?
Something along those lines.
But, small businesses are the heartbeat of the U.S. economy.
The infrastructure.
Yeah. And we need to, all visionaries or anyone that's, tuning in and listening or watching this, go out and support your local cigar lounges and visit them, patronize their business, because that's how they survive.
Absolutely.
If Guillermo were a cigar, what kind would he be?
Spicy. Latino heat. Nah, man, I'm mellow, man. I mean, it's I would say kind of like our Sumatra, right? It's mellow, it's chill, but it has lots of flavor. It can tell you a lot, But I talk a lot, but I also listen a lot too, So it's kind of right down the middle.
Yeah. What are some of the greatest lessons that you've learned in the last 3 or 4 years being in the cigar industry?
I mean, just listening, getting to know people, and like you said earlier, what do you want to leave? The impact of, professionalism, that thrive. See that some, that you got that fire, and just kind of that realm right there,
I would agree. I think it's almost the first time we met you was at Larry's shop. And shout out to Larry at La Soul Cigar Lounge.
Wow.
It's the first time we met him. And the fact now that we can talk on the phone about whatever, I think is super awesome. We had our 100th episode last month, and we can call you, or we can call reps for other cigar lines, and it's nothing for us to pick up the phone for one another, or we can talk to so and so who owns this line. I just think the growth, the way we just interact with everybody in the cigar community here it's been really, really fun to see how this has all come full circle.
And that's a good point. And I want to ask this, since you are, essentially a territory rep for multiple states, do you see different cultures in different states, kind of how they move about?
You do, but at the same time, it just falls right back into the same thing,
Uh-huh.
So you could go travel to Kansas and feel the same vibe that you feel here in Carrollton with La Soa, So it's just awesome, You can't go into a bar and do this,
No.
You can't go to a bar and just start talking to your neighbor. They get kind of freaked out or, whatever it is. And somebody's having a bad day there. They just want to have a drink and leave. Here they want to smoke and just relax, And if they're having a bad day, go to cigar lounges. It changes, So you kind of forget a little bit about that.
So we're in your garage and you moved out your baby. When did you get into? I gotta ask this. When did you get into Porsches?
So I've been a car guy for a long time, man, and since I was little, the Porsche brand itself, you can't ever mistake a Porsche, right? You see a Porsche, it's a Porsche, in my opinion. So kind of growing up, it's kind of like a childhood dream, own a 911 Carrera, and
she's a beauty.
Yeah, man, and I've worked, it's been 7-8 years in the making. I wanted one. Then I met my girl, and my priorities changed because I have a stepson. So it's just priorities are there. And then we got a little more serious, moved in together. Then you get a house. Then we had another baby. So it's you want it, but as long as the priorities are there, you kind of keep your head straight.
Nothing wrong being a grown up, man. It's okay.
No, man. So now finally gotta work hard enough to get it, and she gets to sleep in here every day now.
But she's not going out on client visits or customer visits.
Sometimes.
Really?
Sometimes. Yeah, it's hard not to drive it.
When you want to let people
No,
know, when you let people know you're serious.
Yeah,
You see that Porsche pull up hey, this man
still-
means business.
I'm still humble with it,
So you do take it to customer shops?
Well, I just got her in July, so I haven't traveled since March, so I've been out of town with it. But every now and then, I'm like, man, she needs to get out. Let her stretch her legs a little bit.
That's right.
So
That's right.
it's fun.
But you don't smoke in it.
Nah, I haven't smoked in it yet.
I can't do that.
And I think about it, right? Am I ever gonna sell it? Maybe I shouldn't smoke, but I don't know. She might be a lifer. Yeah, found the right one.
What's the long-term vision for Guillermo Alvarez?
I mean, when I got this job and they asked me, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? I always told them I want to help be the face of the company, right? So, we work together to try to get there. I handle all the social media for Kristoff Cigars, and I'll do reviews or tell a little bit about the cigars on different platforms and stuff. So, eventually, when Glenn is tired of traveling,
Somebody's got to fill that role.
someone's got to fill that up and go out there and help him. So, I would love to be more involved in the tobacco side too. So, be in the factory, kind of learn more about the leaf itself and how to blend and stuff like that. So.
Now, have you been out to the DR?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We went out. So every year, other than last year, they do a holiday party for all the factory employees.
Oh man,
And
I can imagine.
yeah, and then Glenn takes the U.S. staff team, and we go out there. And then we also we're in 32 countries, so we have different brokers like in Germany, Spain, all across Europe and stuff. So they come out there with us too. So we got a chance to meet the German crew, the ones from Spain and stuff. So it's pretty cool, man.
What's it like smoking a stick right out of the factory?
It's fresh, man. It's good, yeah. A little earthy, maybe a little more moist than you're used to. Whenever it's kind of controlled here in the humidity, but it's another experience,
I see this gleam on your face, like as you think about that, and I wonder, did you ever see yourself in this position?
No, not at all. Not at all. I wanted to be the Chip Foose of the automotive world one day, and that completely changed, So, yeah, it's been a great ride, man.
Love it, love it.
Well, Cup, I think we've reached that time where it's time for us to land the plane.
I'm going to do the honors.
Absolutely. This segment is brought to you by the good folks at Grand Brulot. Thank you to Francisco, the owner. Thank you to Jameson and the Lovers team, everybody who kind of had a hand in this partnership. Guillermo, this is a cognac cafe. It is like nothing you've ever tasted before. And so we are happy to introduce it to you, sir.
Yes.
Just
want to get your
sip
natural
it nice and
reaction
easy.
to
Yeah,
it.
just sip it nice and easy. You don't even have to shoot the whole thing.
Smells good.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Oh. Let me know what you think.
Y'all can leave that here, right?
Did you hear that, Francisco and Jameson? You have a new customer in Guillermo and Kristoff
That's
Cigars.
great, man. Pair's great.
Absolutely.
Very well.
Absolutely. So one of the questions we ask everybody on the show when we land the plane. It's you, and there is a round table. There are 5 of your seats at that table. You can have whoever you like at that table. The only stipulation, if you will, is that you can't have whatever higher power you believe in at your table. Outside of that, dead or alive, who do you want?
Oh, man, that's tough, man. So when I get to come hang out, sometimes a little Sinatra,
Okay.
so he'd be there.
Yep.
Michael Jordan, man. I mean, just his legacy, and him, having that love for the Leaf as well. He would be there. Man, that's tough, man. There's so many people.
That's one. No, sorry, it's 2. Jordan
2.
Sinatra.
Jordan Sinatra.
We know there'll be cigars at the table.
Yeah. I mean, I never got to meet my grandfathers, man. So that would be 2 more spots there.
Okay.
Kind of, talk to them and see what my parents were like as kids,
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, man. What would be the last one? God, that's tough, man.
It's Jordan, Sinatra, your 2 grandfathers.
Man, maybe MLK, man. He's been. I never have any documentation about him smoking cigars, but just hearing him speak about all the changes that we've been going through, because we're all colored folks here, so definitely set the movement for all of us to kind of come in one here,
Still making that climb.
Tell me.
Still making that climb.
On you, sir.
So, before I have 2 more questions for you. But before I ask that, real quickly, how can our visionaries get a hold of you if they're interested in more Kristoff products? Can you drop your social media handles? Best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. So Kristoff Cigars, Kristoff_cigars, Guillermo.
It's Kristoff with a K.
With a K. That's on Instagram. Also take care of Facebook, Twitter, TikTok now.
Are you TikToking?
Yeah, we're trying to get into it,
But are you doing it?
I have a page. I haven't even posted anything, but I'm trying to get into the Kristoff stuff. That's a whole different generation there.
Bruh.
But yeah, website's www.kristoff.com. You could go into the territories. You'll find my contact there if you want to email me or give me a phone call. Phone's always available. So
Via text, he will answer the phone if you call him.
Yeah. Good dude too, man. Really. Every time we met, we met at I don't know if I told you. Oh yeah, I did tell you. We were at the coffee shop,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Guillermo was in there.
I realized y'all live right down the street from each other.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that was really cool. Chopped it up out there. But so if Guillermo and Mo asked a great question about you being a stick or a cigar, right? So like, if you were a book, what would the title of your book be?
The passion.
Ooh. I like it.
Yeah, man. That's what fuels everything, man. You know, my passion for the cars. You know, finally got my dream car. Passion for the Leaf. You know, living my dream job. You know, and it's been a blessing, man.
I absolutely love that. The passion.
I love it. Yeah. I think it's the best answer to that question we've had so far. So we start kind of
Yeah, it's up
incorporating
there
that.
for sure.
It's pretty good.
It's up there for sure. Okay, so in case you didn't know, we're going to turn this garage into a magical time machine.
All right.
Right? What advice would you be giving yourself from 5 years ago?
Just go after your dreams, man. Just go after your dreams.
Love it.
Yeah.
Now, forgive us. We are going to make you a little bit older. Okay, so you're 5 years older now. What's the older version of Guillermo? What advice is he giving you today?
That's deep. Man, just keep on pushing. Just keep on pushing, man. Yeah. Keep following them dreams, them goals.
Well, it's been such a pleasure to hang out with you in the garage and smoking these fantastic cigars. So, to all of our visionaries, make sure you holler at Guillermo. Make sure you go copy a box of these because they're definitely worth it. I promise you that. Every time I've had one, I've been thoroughly impressed.
Support your small mom and pop shops.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Remember, each one of our guests that drop into the lab are dropping nuggets of wisdom on the trail of life. Ultimately, my friends, it's up to you to pick them up.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Mosley. He is Ryan Cuffey. Thank you again, Guillermo Alvarez, Kristoff Cigars. We will see you guys next week on another great episode of the Vision Lab podcast. Again, if you like the content, subscribe, spread the word, all of the above to all your social media followers, friends, family, wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys next week.
Blessings.